Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Sorry about the background. I know I'm gonna say this in a different video, but I think that one will come later. So I'm going to repeat myself. I actually filmed that video earlier today as well. But anyway, I'm packing to go to college, which means I have to pack everything. And I've been saying this for a couple videos that I'm getting ready to go to college and I'm packing, but now I am really packing because I have about a week before I leave. So I just want to get it all done, and it's been crazy. And my room is a disaster area. I need to clear my bed off so that I can sleep tonight. Yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty bad. But anyway, I needed to film this video. I have a couple that I need to film before I leave. And I can't really do anything about the background right now, so this is how it's going to be. But I need to film this video so that I can move on to a new book, because I finished this book. So, alright, let's get into it. Today's video is a review of Wonder. I read this book a few days ago. It only took me 2 days to read, and I wish I could have read it in one day. I wish I had the time because I really, really loved it. But it's been a few days now and I haven't been able to read anything, partially because I've been busy and partially because I wanted to film this review first so I didn't start like mixing up books. I like to have the book fresh in my mind when I do the review, so I'm doing it now. Yeah, so that being said, let's move into my thoughts about the plot so that I can actually start talking about the book. I'm not exactly sure how to rate the book. It wasn't necessarily exciting, but there were definitely times of excitement in it. But it's also a contemporary, so the point is not to be the most exciting book ever. For what it is, I think it's a wonderful book. It's middle grade contemporary, and I really, really loved it. So since I loved it so much, I'm definitely giving it 5 out of 5 stars, even though there wasn't anything spectacular about the plot. There wasn't any overall thing that really happened other than August making it through his first year of going to a real school. I say it like that because homeschooling is still school, still like a real school kind of, but you get what I mean. He's actually going to a school with other students and teachers, and that's pretty much it. He goes through different things. He has a lot of challenges he goes through. We get to hear from other characters' perspectives as well, and it was a really, really sweet and adorable book that definitely had some times where there are definitely times where I was laughing or I was super happy. There were definitely other times where I was tearing up and I was frustrated with the characters or angry with the characters. So I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars because it was a really sweet story and I really, really enjoyed it. It was recommended to me by a friend and I'm so glad that she recommended it because I probably never would have read it otherwise. It's not something that I thought I would be interested in. I knew a little bit about the movie even though I haven't watched it. I do want to watch it soon, but I didn't really think I'd be interested in the book. I don't tend to read a lot of contemporary, but it was really, really, really sweet. So I really enjoyed this book. Mostly just a sweet book, but with some other things going on. I loved it. Moving into the characters, I give the characters 5 out of 5 stars. I loved Augie. He is so adorable and so sweet, but he's also a kid, and sometimes, you know, he's not really thinking right. You can definitely get annoyed with him at times, rarely, but definitely there are times where he's just being dumb. But he's a kid. He's like 10 or 11 years old. So I really loved Augie very much. I want more Augie. Like when I finished the book, I was like, all right, there needs to be another one that goes into his next year or just other random little adventures with him because I want to read more about August. There were other characters that I really, really loved. Some of them I loved and then I hated them and then I loved them again. They got some redemption. Yeah, I really enjoyed the characters as well. I think they were well done. They weren't just static characters. Most of them were dynamic and had things they went through as well. There were a couple that were kind of static, but for the purpose of the book. So yeah, I think the characters were very well done as well. Now for the writing, I give the writing 4 out of 5 stars actually. I think if it weren't middle grade and if it weren't written mostly from the perspective of a 10/11-year-old, I would give it lower marks. But for what the story is and for how it's told, I think I can give it 4 out of 5 stars. It feels like it's written from the perspective of a 10-year-old. There are times where it feels like it's written by a 10-year-old because he's the one speaking to you. Or when the perspective changes and it's from other characters' perspectives, you can tell it's not August thinking anymore. It's not him telling the story anymore. It's somebody else, and they tell it a little bit differently and they speak differently, and I thought that was super well done. The voices of the characters are very different. I give it 4 to 5 stars. For how good some of that was done, I feel like maybe I could give it 5 out of 5 stars, but I don't think I'm quite that generous today. So 4 to 5 stars for the writing, but really amazing how the perspectives were done and how they felt like other people speaking. The title tie-in was very sweet at the end. I think Wonder is referenced a couple other times in the book, but not really pointed out a lot. And there wasn't a big like, bam, this is the title moment, except for at the end. So in like, I think the last sentence, but one of the last sentences, Wonder is referenced in a really, really sweet way. So I love the title tie-in at the end, and it showed how well the title actually works for the book. It brought it all together. I don't have a lot for a content guide. It's middle grade, so there's never really a lot in middle grade to talk about. I think it could definitely be enjoyed by younger kids, even 11 or 12, though I wouldn't recommend it to my 11-year-old niece just because her mom has different standards, and there are a couple things in the book that I don't think my sister would want my niece reading, mainly about the younger characters talking about dating and who they like, and there are a couple other things that I don't really think my sister would want my niece reading. But in a few years, I'm definitely going to recommend it to my niece. She loves to read, and I think this would be a great book for her to read. It really is a great story, and I do think it can be enjoyed by all ages. But yeah, they're just a couple little things, but they're not really anything worth putting in for the content guide. I will say that there's some like crude childish humor within the first like chapter, and that kind of set the tone for a little while. I was like, oh great, there's going to be this sort of childish humor. I'm not really a fan of that, but it didn't really affect me at all the rest of the time. There are only a couple instances where they're just joking about things. They're just childish, really childish. But that's because it's a kid telling a story, and those are the things that he finds funny or that stick out to him. So yeah, I really don't have much for a content guide. If you have specific questions for the content guide, ask me down below and I'll let you know. Now that I've read it, I can hopefully answer those questions, but yeah, that's all that I have for a content guide, which is pretty much nothing. So for my takeaway thoughts, as I just pointed out in the last section, it is very childish, but it's middle grade, and it's written from the perspective of a 10 or 11-year-old. So understanding that, I really enjoyed this book. I really did. I am definitely going to read it again someday. I kind of want to read it again right now, except I have other books I need to read, but I want to read it again someday and maybe just highlight different things and annotate in it the points that I really enjoyed and the other points that made me angry or that made me sad. I really, really liked it. But to sum up, I love this way more than I thought I was going to love it. Really did not expect I would enjoy it this much, and after just a few chapters I was messaging my friend telling her that I loved it. I'm so glad that she recommended it, and then the times when I got frustrated with characters I would message her about that too and just like complain to her. So definitely a book that I enjoyed. When I can sit down and read a book in 2 days, spending hours at a time reading, you know that I enjoy it, because I don't generally do that unless I make myself. And I didn't have to make myself with this one. I wanted to finish it. So I highly recommend this book. If you like contemporary and you're okay with middle grade, I definitely recommend this. It's very, very sweet, very touching story. And that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down, but let me know why you didn't enjoy it and how I can improve in future videos. And I guess that's it. If you've been to college, comment down below some advice for a kind of freshman. I'm a transfer sophomore, I believe, but this is my first time actually going to college. Everything else I've done has been online or dual enrollment in high school. So if you have any advice or any tips, let me know down in the comments. Let me know, yeah, what tips you would give to like basically a freshman. And if you're going into college, then good luck. Or if you're going into your next year of elementary school or high school, good luck to you as well. The year will be over before you know it, so don't stress about it. Especially to my younger audience, I don't have my "Don't Grow Up, It's a Trap" sign that I usually have here. I packed that already, but yeah, don't grow up too fast. Enjoy the time you have while you're young, because it doesn't get any easier when you get older. The world gets more complicated, so don't wish away your young life. For any of my younger viewers, treasure it while you have it. That's my advice to you, I guess. And that's it for the video. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day, everyone.